sentencing proceedings in the Joshlin Smith kidnapping and human trafficking trial are expected to get underway in Saldanha Bay today. The Western Cape High Court convicted Joshlin's mother, Kelly Smith, her boyfriend, Jacquen Appollis, and Steveno van Rhyn on kidnapping and trafficking charges earlier this month. Vanessa Poonah is covering the story for us. So, Vanessa, will we find out today in terms of the sentencing? I know it begins, but is this also when we hear what their fate really is?
Leanne, good morning to you. No, we won't hear today what their sentencing is. Of course, today is the first day of sentencing procedures, and this means that there will be arguments in mitigation as well as aggravation of sentence. So we know that the state had indicated that they will have victim impact reports presented, as well as the testimony of a US-based human trafficking expert, Dr. Marcel van der Walt. So we expect that proceedings will start with that testimony this morning. We are outside the White City Multipurpose Centre here in Dyersville in Saldanha Bay. Of course, the building behind me is where we saw the trial play out, a trial in which Kelly Smith, Jacquen Appollis, as well as Steveno van Rhyn did not testify. They did not bring any witnesses to testify in their defence. They had applied for a Section 174 application at the end of the state's case. They were unsuccessful. And we also know that in the trial, within a trial to admit confessions or so-called confessions that they had made to police, they also did not succeed in having those ruled inadmissible. So, of course, did result in that guilty finding, a conviction on charges of kidnapping as well as human trafficking. And what we will see today is really the start, the final leg, if one can call it that, in terms of these proceedings. But I'm joined now by a group of interested parties. I mean, people have been following this case, Leanne, from as far afield as overseas as well. But I'm joined now by a group that travelled all the way from Elsie's River on the Cape Flats yesterday. And Crystal Oren, so you've very interested in this matter. You say that you weren't here for judgment, but you needed to be here for sentencing. Why the interest, do you think? A 6-year-old child having been kidnapped and trafficked, and of course it's something that gripped the nation.
Hi, good morning. Yes, for me it's extremely important to be here today. We're actually here for 3 days. The interest, yes, it's a child, a 6-year-old child, and this we got to know Joshlin as the green-eyed girl, and she captured all of our hearts. And I've been following the case on live each and every morning, but for me it's important to be here, especially on Thursday, for sentencing and to see justice.
Let me bring in here Sureta Steenkamp as well. Sureta, you also, from the Cape Town area and from Elsie's River, and you're also saying that you have been covering or following this trial. It's not often where we see a mother on trial and having been convicted for a kidnapping as well as human trafficking. Is this why you are here today?
Definitely I'm here because I can't understand why, because mothers are the most important thing of a child, in a child's life. So if I take myself, I would go crazy if something happened to my child. So I'm praying that God move into this mother's heart and make her open up and speak the truth and say what really happened, because there's many mothers and fathers that is worried about this child and are lying awake at night wondering if this child is safe.
Let me just hear from someone from Saldanha Bay, also Jeanette, people from Saldanha Bay, what do you want to see happen this week? Very quickly, which way should the court rule and sentence? Jy kan Afrikaans praat?
Straightforward gesê, né? Ons soek justice vir ons kind. Dis die bottom line. Ons wil hê hulle moet gaan sit vir wat hulle gedoen het. En as dit van my afhang, moet dit hulle moet life kry. Daar is niks, daar's 'n ander manier om dit te sê nie. Life is hulle voornaam.
Thank you so much, Jeanette.
Ons is baie hartseer. Ons het gevoel van ons het saam met hy kind. Hy het ons geloop om ons kind te soek. So ons voel dit in ons harte. Ons is mans. Ons voel dit, want ons weet hoe is dit om 'n kind groot te maak. So om 'n kind weg te gooi, dit is nie vir ons nie.
Of course, Leanne, I'm going to leave it there, but you'll see that the emotion is indeed running high. People from the Saldanha area who were involved in the search for Joshlin, and we do know that up until this stage, she is still not found. And of course, all eyes will be on the White City Multipurpose Hall this week as Judge Nathan Erasmus sentences the trio involved in the kidnapping and human trafficking of the 6-year-old girl.